Remember when dinner meant peeling back foil, tossing a tray into the oven, and waiting, patiently, while the kitchen filled with that familiar frozen smell? For kids, TV dinners were more than food. They were permission to skip the dinner table, eat in front of cartoons, and pretend we were grown-ups for a night. And back then, the freezer aisle was packed with meals we actually looked forward to. Today, we're rewinding the clock and looking at 10 discontinued TV dinners every kid used to beg for. Some were delicious, some, not so much, but they were all a part of growing up. Poultry leg. Number 10 Kid Cuisine Dino Nuggets. If you were a kid in the 90s, these were gold. Chicken nuggets shaped like dinosaurs. What else could a 7-year-old want? They came in that bright blue tray with corn, a dessert, and sometimes pudding that somehow never cooked right. And even though the nuggets weren't exactly gourmet, they were fun, and fun beat flavor any day. Eventually, they vanished from most shelves. Maybe kids moved on, but for those of us who remember, they still roar. Slice of pizza. Number 9 Chef Boyardee Pizza Kit Dinner. This one made you feel like a chef, even if you were just 5 years old. It came with mini dough circles, a squeeze pack of sauce, and a small bag of cheese. You'd put it all together yourself, wait impatiently, and then bite into something that was kind of soggy but still amazing. It wasn't delivery, and it definitely wasn't DiGiorno, but it was yours. Eventually it faded away, probably because it took more work than most frozen meals. But for a while, it was the coolest dinner in the freezer. Fish. Number 8 Swanson Fish and Chips Dinner. This one takes me straight back to Friday nights. Swanson's fish and chips came with 2 breaded fish sticks, crinkle-cut fries, and sometimes a tiny blob of tartar sauce. The fries always ended up soft, but as a kid, you didn't care. It felt like takeout at home. It was the kind of meal you ate while watching TV in your pajamas. Eventually, it slipped off shelves. Maybe because fried fish lost its spot to pepperoni pizza. But that smell? That's still stuck in our memories. Poultry leg. Number 7 Banquet Fried Chicken Dinner. This was the one you wanted on a special night, like a sleepover or a movie night. Big pieces of bone-in fried chicken, mashed potatoes with a gravy crater, corn, and sometimes a cobbler. It took forever in the oven, but the wait made it better, or at least that's what we told ourselves. Even if the skin got soggy, the chicken had that salty, buttery flavor that just hit right. Banquet still makes chicken dinners, but this version quietly disappeared years ago. And let's be honest, it hasn't tasted the same since. Spaghetti. Number 6 Morton's Spaghetti and Meatballs. Before Lean Cuisine and Hungry Man, there was Morton. Their spaghetti and meatballs weren't fancy, just a pile of noodles, red sauce, and 3 little meatballs if you were lucky. But when you're 10, that was plenty. It felt like something you'd get at a diner, especially when paired with an old TV show and no veggies in sight. Morton stopped making frozen dinners in the 80s, but their spaghetti tray stuck around in kids' memories long after that. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. Poultry leg. Number 5 Hungry Man Boneless Fried Chicken. Hungry Man meals were for kids who wanted to eat like dad. Big trays, big portions, and this one came with 2 crispy boneless chicken patties, mashed potatoes, and that rock-hard chocolate brownie. It felt like a full-on meal, not just a kid's dinner. Sure, it had enough sodium to stop your heart, but back then, no one was counting. It quietly disappeared over time, probably replaced by healthier options, but we'll never forget the sound of that plastic film tearing open. Taco. Number 4 Swanson Mexican Fiesta. This one felt exotic, at least to our younger selves. Cheesy enchiladas, beans, and Spanish-style rice, all tucked into little sections of a foil tray. It wasn't exactly authentic, but it had just enough spice to make you feel like you were eating something grown-up. The beans were pasty, and the rice was dry, but somehow we loved it anyway. It eventually vanished, maybe because tastes changed or maybe because taco kits took over. Still, it turned weeknights into tiny fiestas. Fried egg. Number 3 Kid Cuisine Breakfast for Dinner. Eating breakfast at night? That felt like breaking the rules, and Kid Cuisine let you do it. Mini pancakes, scrambled eggs, maybe a strip of bacon, and a tiny syrup pouch. It was weird and wonderful. The eggs were always kind of rubbery, but the pancakes soaked up syrup like sponges. It didn't stick around long, maybe because people weren't sold on microwaved eggs. But for those who tried it, it was like eating dessert first. Top hat. Number 2 Libbyland Safari Supper. Libbyland was wild. Literally, every dinner came with a theme. Cowboy supper, pirate picnic, and yes, safari supper. Safari supper had spaghetti, a pudding dessert, and even a powder drink mix you stirred into water. The trays were colorful, and the boxes had stories and games. It was like a TV dinner mixed with a comic book. Libbyland only lasted a few years in the 70s, but the kids who had it never forgot it. It wasn't just dinner, it was an adventure. Turkey. Number 1 Swanson Thanksgiving Dinner. If you ever had this one, you remember. Sliced turkey with gravy, stuffing, mashed potatoes, peas, and a little square of cranberry sauce. It felt like Thanksgiving, without the family chaos. You'd pull it out on a random Tuesday, pop it in the oven, and suddenly the whole house smelled like November. Swanson tweaked it over the years, but the original version quietly disappeared. Still, no frozen dinner ever felt quite as special. Videotape. Outro 8 o'clock. TV dinners weren't perfect. The peas were mushy, the brownies were overcooked, and sometimes the mashed potatoes had a weird film on top. But they were ours. They meant independence, cartoons, and eating with a fork while lying on the carpet. Most of these are long gone, but the memories stick around, like the taste of overcooked corn or the sound of a microwave ding. Which one do you remember most? Drop it in the comments. And if this brought back even a tiny memory, give us a like and hit subscribe. We've got more frozen flashbacks waiting right here on American Rewind.